My name's Tamsin Dorr. I've always had love for horses. I bred Stella, so she's now 17, so I've had her since she was born. So unfortunately, all of her bad habits are entirely my fault. We've both basically grown up together, so we've sort of, like to think, formed a bit of a bond. I'm a dispatcher for Dorset Police and a supervisor in the control room. So we manage all the calls, non-emergency and emergency calls coming in.
Dorset Police Control Room, Tamsin speaking.
I first heard about the Rural Mounted Volunteers through somebody at work who was a officer that was seconded to the Rural Crime Team, and she told me they were sort of looking at getting it together, so I applied. For me personally, it was an opportunity to combine my personal background with farming, and also I love riding. The Rural Mounted Volunteers are a group of police volunteers who have horses, and we basically ride around the countryside. We are a sort of visible presence within the more isolated rural communities that are sometimes a little bit harder to police. We're not warranted officers, we have no powers of arrest or anything like that. We are there as volunteers basically just to report back to the actual officers what's happening, how the communities are feeling, so they can gauge it a little bit more and basically work out which areas they need to patrol a little bit more. When farmers do get machinery stolen or crops are destroyed, it's extremely debilitating. Personally, it's extremely demoralising. Also financially, farming is a business at the end of the day, and it can have a massive impact on their output, how much they're able to earn that year just to keep the farm running.
We get a range of issues from theft of diesel, scrap, batteries. Also we get poaching, so they'll drive across a field which you've planted with a nice crop, and they'll just drive over deer and chase them down. So we are being targeted all the time, and we just need more eyes about.
So the advantages being on horseback, so obviously you can see over a lot of the hedgerows. You get access to a lot of the more kind of rural parts of the countryside through sort of bridleways like we're on now, and like permissive pathways that you wouldn't usually be able to get to quite so easily. I've ridden for many years, and it's just really nice, especially on days where you've got weather like we have today, just being out in the countryside, out in the fresh air. You get to explore different areas. It's quite therapeutic and relaxing most of the time. Stella absolutely loves it. She really enjoys being out hackling in the countryside and going for long rides. She's pretty good with every form of traffic. She's used to sort of all farmyard machinery and everything else, so she's quite a good horse to take out for a ride.
I heard about the volunteers through a friend who's in the police force. I think it's a great idea because they're all over the place, and they can see there's more eyes on the ground, and the more eyes on the ground in my book, the better. It's just extra help in stopping this rural crime.